Hey, it's Empress Rose, and welcome to our reading for the week. General reading, take what works, leave what doesn't. I'm going to start with these oracle cards, see what happens. Okay. We have the Selkie, so mermaid. But there's a sense of restriction here. And usually this comes across as restriction placed on us through the patriarchy, through specifically a man. A sense of there's a loss of freedom. Unable to do what you want to do. There's something else here too about a loss of voice, a loss of agency. All right, well, is that happening? Did that already happen? And then we have the raven. So this psychopomp, the deliverance, maybe this raven has come to deliver you from some sort of restriction. Raven's one of my favorite animals, associated with air signs. And it's interesting because it is associated with air signs, and they're very vocal, and they're very... And this one has this like loss of voice or loss of agency. And this raven can be very vocal. Highly intelligent apex species. It's interesting because in my little scrying ball, there's this large bird and I couldn't quite figure out what it is. Maybe it is the raven. It's sitting on an even larger egg. So there's, yeah, the raven and the Selkie. The mermaid and raven. Not sure, but we're going to go to Urban Crow Oracle. I have shuffled this and gotten this already. Trying to understand, like, the raven and the Selkie. What are they doing here? It does seem to be two entities, not... It could be two energies. The raven being so intelligent, so capable. Okay. Oh, so we have observation and fog. I'm watching the fog lift. If I could guess, I'm wondering if this like fog maybe associates with this Selkie here, as far as like unable to see, the fog does create some sort of restriction. We can't see where we're going, basically. It's like unsafe to move ahead. It's unclear where something's going. There's a mystical, magical element to it as things emerge and become clearer. But the fog lifting is there's a lot of safety in fog too. Because our enemies can't see us either. We may not be able to see where we're going, but no one else knows where we're going either and can't take advantage of that. So, and then we have observation here, watch and wait. We have Anansi again here, as we did last week, the storyteller, the artist, the weaver. The spider doing its art, following its instinct, following its path, and thereby like receiving its food, its sustenance. I'm going to say like a homemaker, a home. They create. They're a creator. There's an artistry here to what the spider does very naturally, and through that. There's a gifting the universe brings, well, I don't know if the fly feels this way so much, but the spider receives the gifts, that they're They create with their stories. And then we have the crow just watching, learning through observation. It's interesting because actually now this crow is looking quite like the Selkie here, as far as just watching, waiting. Again, not a lot of action this week, not a lot of action. Even like we have this like crow rising up here. This looks like a graveyard to me. There's mushrooms here, but rising up out of this graveyard. But where are you going, crow? You can't see anything. You can't even fly that clearly in the fog. Wow, watching and waiting. That's not moving forward, not able to move forward, maybe wanting to move forward but not seeing. Maybe that's where the Selkie is here, is wanting to move forward, wanting to see where to go and what's next here, but not being able to see where you're at right now, the situation. Like the fog too, to me, is like, it's not that you can't see because there's something wrong with you. It's that you can't see because this environment is not conducive to seeing. And understanding that, and then we have observation and we have fog. So we have this like clouded over area where we can't see. Like we're supposed to be observing something, watching something, but we can't see it. It's obscured. So there's this observation. There's a desire to observe, but not the capacity to observe. And that doesn't have anything to do with you or anyone in the situation. It's just that the situation itself, as it is, it's morning on the river. It's on the coast. There's always this fog that comes in, and it's not that you can't see the horizon. It's that the horizon is not seeable by anybody. What we need here is we need a lighthouse. But there's not. And with the Selkie on the rock, that's really what I'm feeling here. A little bit of a siren possibly too. Her coat's been stolen. Her legs, her fishness, her nature has been stolen from her. And she has to wait. It's just this loss of control. It's very kind of frustrating to read because literally I feel like the fog is like here. The fog is here on my table. It's obscuring my vision. It's obscuring. I can't see. I'm supposed to be observing. I'm supposed to be watching the cards. I'm supposed to be talking the cards. But there's a sense of like this fog is here, and I can't. There's a lot of difficulty seeing these cards. Okay, I've shuffled these many times before this too. So, all right, from the bottom of the deck, por favor, tell me something. Four of Cups. This is, this is the Paulina Tarot. Four of Cups, offers, contemplating offers, wondering, tired of offers. Wondering if this is the real offer. Look, they've got all these sort of cups, maybe even some trophies here, and here comes another, like, but what's interesting is that these cups are empty. There's nothing to be offered here. This one is full of flowers. This is an offering that actually has something in it, has something to give here, but she's just not sure. I have received vases before. I have received vessels and cups before. I am not necessarily interested, but she's not even looking. But there is with Four of Cups always a sense of contemplation. Like, is this the real cup or is this the fake cup? There's also a sense of breaking cycles here. You know, with cycles, we're the ones that you can always find your sort of the place in the cycle where you can put sort of the cog in the machine and break the cycle. You can. There will be a place in any cycle with any person, with any like job, with any situation where it might be a small place. It might just be a small situation or a small a small spot where you can be like, no, not again. I'm not doing this again. But the thing with the Four of Cups is sometimes it is like breaking a cycle. Like this one's brought like 4 cups after messing up, you know, and 4 times before here. They're coming in again with another try here. And so it kind of sits in a very contemplative spot, which is what I'm seeing here, or rather not seeing here with this fog here and not being able to see clearly, not being able to see something. And here we have observation here, but not being able to see what this offer is, or what the opportunity is. Is it even an opportunity, or is it just more of the same repeated pattern? Is this an opportunity? Is this the big break I have been waiting for and looking for, or is this the same disappointing cycle that we've gone through multiple times? So, and this can be with like one person. This again, like a couple different scenarios here. It's really hard to, I want to tell you which one it is, but with this fog here, there's definitely some difficulty with this. So this fog and this observation is definitely like watch and wait. And I think that's like what we're talking about here with any kind of offer, any kind of suggestion or idea. Is this sort of watch and wait. And the way it's sitting here on the table, we have the Selkie sort of looking down, almost an other self that has been robbed of some sort of agency, looking in and watching over this contemplation. There's just a lot of thinking. There's yet again this week, no doing. The circumstances aren't available for doing. With the fog here, you can get as antsy as you want, but it's not, there's no capability of movement. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. There's several aces, so really underscoring some beginnings here. And then there's King of Pentacles again, which we had last time, the real father, the father. So Ace of Cups, this would normally indicate a new relationship, a new emotional journey. It's inspiring, it's divine. There's some sort of intuition behind it. Here we have another bunny. Our bunny for the 4th week in a row. I guess it's the year of the rabbit. So definitely in this tarot, on this tarot channel, it's the year of the rabbit for sure. So Ace of Cups. She's a little shy. She's a little, there's a sense of being protected. There's a sense of purity here too with this new beginning. And there's a veil here. Something's veiled. This is like the fog here. There's an innocence to this new beginning, to some sort of new emotional journey. There's a dove on her head. The pure thoughts here. And there's not a lot seen, you know. We have the crescent moon of just the beginning, just the 1 cup, just the first cup. We have 4 cups over here, but here we have the first cup. Here we have the offering of the cup. Here comes the cup. Here comes the cup right here. She's in underwater. There's like the underwater garden idea. And then we have your current situation is Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so first we have some sort of emotional connection, emotional jumpstart. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So our second ace, and then it begins in reality. We have sort of an emotional offering an emotional beginning, and then but where we're currently sitting is, oh, and then here are the eggs, and there was an egg in my ball here. So so here are these eggs here. The eggs have been laid. The beginning is here. And there's like a whole trumpeting situation here. There's an announcement, do do do, and now we begin in reality. This is like wanting something, wanting to do something, and then now it begins in reality. I'm seeing like wanting to go to a play or something like that, wanting to go, and now here you are. You wanted it. And then I can't tell if this is like getting your tickets or actually like sitting in your seat. The play's just beginning, but you're here, you're ready. This is happening. You are going to watch this play here. Yeah, I feel like you've found your seat, and there's expectation. There's building expectation for what the reality of this can look like. So you might have been like, oh, maybe, I don't know, it seems like that would be fun to do. And then now here you are, you're doing it. First steps though, first steps. Hopes, fears, and inner landscape. This must be fears, absolutely. 3 of Swords. Fear of wounding, fear of being hurt. Her heart is inside of her head, and it is pierced through with swords. And swords representing thoughts, representing words, representing those things. We have a dead bird. So we start off with like the bird over the head. Then we have these like eggs. There's almost like this like mating, and then finding out we're pregnant, and then there's like this gestational period. And what are you worried about? You're worried about like, well, you know, pregnancy isn't always a guarantee. So there's like this worry almost here of loss, a fear of loss, a fear of pain. You know, it's like both real, like I want to say, like it's like a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, but I want to say like a pain in the hand. The pain is in the head, but it's in the heart, in the head, in the but it has to do with communication. Anyway, we're worried about pain and suffering. We're worried about pain and suffering, and possibly even really painful realizations. And then she's like put a little band-aid on it, and this is not. It is way beyond band-aid time, like the way this is hurting. So we have like this real beginning, and then we have like a very real fear of loss, of death, of pain. And the pain is in the head and the heart. It's both. And then there's this fearful looking to the future, which is where we're at, and what our fears are, looking to the future with the like, look, but I have this thing that I loved and it's dead. And then like, what more? Is there more of this thing that I love dying that I hold here? And then there's something here too about like playing. If you play with fire, you can expect to get burned. Like she's got swords herself. So there is some sort of thing that this one maybe has engaged in, where that is part of the risk. You know, you start a new business, you might end up losing it. You start, you know, you put an investment in, and we have like a real investment. Oh, this Ace of Pentacles, this is the real investment. This is putting money where your mouth is. But there is like always this risk, and then it will, you know, and then it will affect, and the fear is that it'll affect how you move forward with the future. And there's already this loss. It's in your hand. You haven't even buried it. And so there's like this sense of like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to hold this loss in my hands again. Very effective card, like as far as like pulling up some emotion and really seeing, you know, how we are wounded, and how that feels when we're wounded and we experience loss and all of that, and then the fear of loss going forward. So what's the issue here? 6 of Pentacles, non-reciprocation. Again, another bunny here. Well, this is a pretty bunny heavy deck, to be fair. But it's regift. The Six of Pentacles can be gifts, receiving gifts. And it's very real world, you know, tangibles. It's pentacles. And here we have these, like, they're giving gifts. Oh, it's reminding me, actually, it's reminding me a lot of the rabbit and the fox from the other one. Like, they're giving gifts to this little goddess who's descended, only it's in reverse, so we're not actually getting any gifts or giving any gifts or receiving any gifts or exchanging any gifts. There is no gift exchange. It's out of balance. Something's out of balance. Things feel unreciprocated, unvalued, gifts gone unvalued. Did you forget to write your thank you notes? Gifts gone unvalued, unreceived. It's interesting. There could be withholding. Something has not been reciprocal. So this Ace of Pentacles is very exciting, but maybe there's a sense of like giving and never receiving, or giving, what the Ace of Pentacles? Well, this could be the Four of Cups again here, of like, well, I've already, well, she's receiving. Well, I've already received it, and I've received before, and it's not been any, like maybe she ordered this and it's arriving and she's like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's never what I wanted. The package does not contain what I want. And so there could be like, this is where this disappointment or this real questioning could be coming from, is this lack of receiving something of equal value, or maybe it's just not your turn yet, right? This can have a real sense of like karma, or like the flow of goods and services. And so it's just not your turn. It's not your time right now and it hasn't been, perhaps. And so maybe there's this sense of, it hasn't been my time, so why would this be my time? Why would this be why is this an opportunity? Because before I've invested in sort of work, it could be lots of different things. With this with the cups at the beginning, it does look like there might be some sort of relationship that you've invested in, you haven't gotten anything out of. It could be like, not like you're trying to get anything out of it, but like it's just not been reciprocal. It's non-reciprocated energy here, and so it has you questioning whether this new thing is it. But I can also see this as like with the Pentacles here, like there's two aces, there's Four of Cups and Ace of Cups, and then there's Ace of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles. So it could also be work, like having worked really hard and not received, you know, what you thought you were going to be getting, or anything like that, you know. In your environment, we have the Tower card, so everybody's favorite card. Something being deposed. This could be happening to someone around you, a big shakeup in their life. This could be the environment in which you find yourself in, which is interesting because we have these new beginnings, and then we have this Tower here, which is like things are falling apart. There might be a crisis. There might be like something's not working. Whatever's guided you. Well, we have a collapsing lighthouse, basically. I was like, where's our lighthouse? Here's our lighthouse. We have a little tower here, only it's non-functional. This tower is not functioning. And maybe we had some lighthouse keepers up here, but they're not keeping the lighthouse. The light is not on. This thing that's supposed to be this sort of guide through the fog, through the storm, is not guiding through the fog and through the storm. In fact, like we have this like king and queen, but they're really just like, I'm going to say like despots. And at this point, it's like at this point they lost the election, but they're still insisting that they're not leaving the palace or the big house. They're not leaving it. even though they no longer belong there, and they no longer like say they no longer belong at the top of this tower. They're no longer going to be the lighthouse keepers here. And so, but do they leave willingly? No, there's got to be a little bit of a crisis. So even though there may have been like some sort of inkling, leave this alone, it's time for you to move on, it's time to go, without listening to those smaller voices in that intuition, we have this like sort of cataclysmic collapse. This sounds very bad. No, we don't need to have anxiety from tarot readings. But it's the tower. What's been going on, the structure, some sort of structure either in your life or in the life of someone you love and know, or you're connected to, is falling apart. Something's sort of falling apart here. And it's been a structure that's been relighted. Now, we all have these tower moments. We all have these towers that come into our life and create massive amounts of disruption. They can feel really sudden, but sometimes there were moments leading up to this that indicated this might be happening, and other times we're just blindsided by this sudden implosion of our lives, or of something that's been a key structure in our life. So it's almost like this lighthouse isn't here. The lighthouse workers have gone. So this is why you'd be having like some struggle understanding, like, what is this? I can't really see very clearly. Well, in this one, you can't see it very clearly because you're not looking at it. You're not really inspecting it very closely. In this one, you can't see very clearly because of the circumstances around you. So the tower indicates to me that there are some circumstances around you that may be making it very difficult for you to see. But don't worry, the towers come to us all, and we all rebuild, and we all rebuild with the, it's cold comfort, but the tower comes to everybody. We all figure out how to rebuild, hopefully a better tower, maybe. Understanding that in the last one, maybe we put too many windows, and so it created a weakness along one side. Or maybe in the last tower, we didn't really have a good mechanism for removing people from the tower, so it was catastrophic. Your to-do list is 7 of Wands. Apparently, I'm thirsty, but 7 of Wands here. You have the high ground. You have a right to the high ground. She's so immovable. She's like, and she's got her dogs by her side. I love it. She's got her little, just feels like a little, I want to say posse, or a little, she's got her dogs. Maybe these are her guide dogs now. And one's even got this like she doesn't have to, she's not fighting. She's protecting herself, but she is protected through having already gained the high ground, through already being in a position. This is just hold your ground, basically. It's hold your ground. But one of the dogs is like taunting the fighters coming up here. See, they're all like, we want to be up here. We want your position. We want to be here. Hold your ground. You're not being aggressive here, but you are like fighting for something that you want. You are, yeah, 7 of Wands. It's just, you have a right to be here. You earned your place here. The naysayers are full of BS. Don't let them get you down. You're in the right spot. You're exactly where you need to be. Even though you can't see. But you know what? It's reminding me of this Selkie here. Sitting here on this like solid rock. And she's like lost something. And there is a sense of you don't have free mobility. You can't necessarily, you are sort of like pinned down here in this place. But you can stay here. You have a right to where you're at. You have support, like divine support. And there's a sense of not actively defending yourself, but just like, again, there's like this, maybe there is this fog because the lighthouse keepers are gone, and it's just like, just stay where you're at. And you don't need to defend yourself. Sometimes there's a lot of like strain and really fighting for where you're at, and really fighting for what you believe in here. But to me, there's, in this one in particular, there's a sense of arrival. You are where you need to be, and believe in that, and don't fight. You don't need to. It's just they're never gonna reach you. They can't touch you where you're at right now. So it's a tarot reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If you do find yourself in a little, having to be a little scrappy, you know, maybe this isn't what you need. But there is a sense of like being where you're at. You're exactly where you're meant to be, even though it may feel restrictive, even though it may feel like you can't see and you can't do anything. There's just a sense of holding your ground, holding where you're at right now. And I want to say, like, letting your integrity, letting your past actions, letting those all, you've already fought this fight. You don't need to fight it again. And resting in that. Possible outcome, King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles can just be general success. I find it interesting that we saw the same King of Pentacles in the last reading. So it can be father, it can be success, being successful, like materially successful, or successful in some way. Like we have the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. So that gives like some really strong work vibes here. Our only major arcana is the Tower. So that's a little like big shakeups, big shakeups, right? And then we just have like observe. And I don't see you really fighting or getting in the dirt with this. I just see you observing and letting past actions speak for themselves and just holding your ground. You're not, I mean, the only way she loses here is to go down into the mire with them. That's it. That's the only way she loses, is to get her, is to go be involved, to go get fussy and busy and be involved. So even though you may feel a little pinned down here, a little just trapped here, I do get a sense where you're right where you need to be, and that movement, it would be counterproductive here. So King of Pentacles, though, there's like the scenario I see is he's like comes by and is like, can I give you a ride? You know him, you're not getting in a car with some stranger, but they almost seem to be like asking if you want to get out of here, but it's a king. It could be a real person coming in the future. Yeah, there's success. So it could be you, could be somebody else. Yeah, materially successful. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna go with these oracle cards. Yeah, I knew it. I was, yeah. I mean, I didn't know it, but I knew it. I saw both of them. Well, I saw this one when I was shuffling. I was like, yeah, not saw it, but saw it up here. And then the spider spirit, I was like, there's going to be something that pops out of this deck that's going to make me go, wow. So there we go, our spider. Anansi the storyteller, make your dreams real, spinning your web. It almost seems like to spinning your web, like just doing your stuff, doing your work, envisioning something. And then this Ace of Cups and this Ace of Pentacles, making your dreams real, right? Like buying the tickets to go see the play, or, you know, you want it, go do it. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. So Spider Spirit, make your dreams real. And Stag Spirit, take the lead. Taking action. Well, this is really interesting. Well, Stag Spirit is King of Pentacles. This is the same energy. It's interesting because, like, here you are, like, at the top of the ladder, at the top of the game, and there is, like, a sense of leadership here, and yet it's, like, this very still leadership. Neither of these are like wait for things to happen. Both of these are like making something happen. And the rest of this reading is like, ooh, watch and wait, see what happens. But this is the Seven of Wands. Maybe like don't let anyone talk you out of it. You will be successful, but maybe this is in addition to this. When the fog lifts, when the opportunity arises, yeah, make your dreams real and take the lead. And leadership can just even be the leadership of the vibe in the room. Like, all right, you know, I'm going to create this. I'm going to, if I want the good vibe, I'm going to create the good vibe. If I want, yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be about telling other people what to do. That's almost like the opposite sometimes of leadership. It can be, leadership can be a lot more subtle than that. But yeah, wow, there's a lot of action here. When the fog clears, I guess, there's all this like passive energy. Even Seven of Wands is fairly passive in this deck. And then there's this like, make it happen, take the lead. A little push-pull, I guess. And then from the Wild Kuan Yin, blessings bestowed. There's no end to the Divine Mother's ingenuity and grace. No obstacle can obstruct her generosity and protection. So get used to the feeling of joy, knowing something truly precious is going to unfold in your life. Nurture that feeling like you would the readiness for spring in your heart when winter is upon you. You know it is coming and you anticipate it with such pleasure. Okay, that's what I'm, like, this has like a very winter fog vibe, but then there's like this, the spring is coming, this moment, this time when you make your dreams real and you take the lead. And this is Six of Pentacles. No obstacle can obstruct your generosity and protection. So for some reason, the Six of Pentacles is in there. I wanted to be like, what generosity? What are you talking about? We didn't experience generosity with this Six of Pentacles. So that would be the winter vibe going on here and the preparation for spring. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for stopping by. I very much appreciate it, and we'll talk again later. Bye.